Fishing float signal secrets. Master the 6 key float signals to become a fishing expert. Float signals are essential for any angler aiming to understand fish behavior and improve their hookup rates. A float doesn't just mark the position of your bait, it's your direct connection to the fish, signaling when and how to react. By mastering these 6 key float signals, you can elevate your fishing game from amateur to expert. Let's break down these signals and how to interpret them to become a fishing master. 1. Black float, the angler's expectation and challenge. The black float, or submerged float, is one of the most exciting yet deceptive signals. It occurs when the float is pulled fully underwater. This is often seen as a sign of a large fish biting, but don't jump the gun just yet. Why it happens? Large fish, a big fish, like a carp or tilapia, may have taken the bait, pulling the float under. Small fish, sometimes, small fish can disturb the bait nest, causing the float to submerge. This is less promising and results in fewer hook UPS. How to react? Be ready. The heart-racing nature of the black float often means a big fish has taken the bait, but be cautious. Don't strike too soon if you suspect small fish are to blame. 2. Sudden drop, the key to efficient hook UPS. The sudden drop is an unmistakable signal that a fish has taken the bait. It's characterized by a sharp downward movement of the float, with either a small or large drop. Why it happens? Large sudden drop, the float dips 1-2 eyes, often indicating a larger fish taking the bait. Small sudden drop, a smaller dip could indicate a more cautious fish or a smaller bite. How to react? Strike immediately. A sudden drop is a clear indicator of a bite, and waiting too long can result in missed opportunities. Lift the rod right away, especially for larger drops. 3. Rising float, the temptation and trap of upward movement. A rising float occurs when the float rises upward, signaling that the fish may be taking the bait. However, this can be tricky. Why it happens? Fish bites firmly. A large, consistent rise usually means the fish has swallowed the bait and is swimming upward. False signal, if the bait falls off or the fish is cautious, the float may also rise without the fish fully taking the bait. How to react? Wait and watch carefully. A rise could be a sign of a good bite, but stay cautious. If the float rises then settles, it could be a false signal. Strike only if the movement feels firm and sustained. 4. Tapping float, subtle movements with great knowledge. The tapping float involves intermittent or continuous taps of the float. This is a more subtle signal that requires careful observation. Why it happens? Fish nibbling. Continuous tapping means the fish has taken the bait and is chewing on it. If it's a single light tap, it may just be the fish touching the bait without fully taking it. Small fish, tapping can sometimes be caused by small fish testing the bait. How to react? Be patient. If the tapping continues or turns into a black float or rising float, it's time to strike. If it's just light tapping, wait for further signals before lifting the rod. 5. Moving float, lateral movement signals big fish. A moving float is a horizontal or diagonal movement in the water, often indicating a large fish that has taken the bait and is swimming away with it. Why it happens? Big fish, large species like grass carp, tilapia, and crucian carp often cause the float to move across the water as they swim with the bait. Small fish, if the movement is fast and erratic, it could be due to small fish, making this signal tricky. How to react? Strike immediately if movement is slow and steady. Large fish will drag the float in a predictable direction. If it's erratic, wait for clearer signals before striking. 6. Lying float, flat on the surface holds hidden clues. The lying float is when the float lies flat on the surface without rising or falling. This unusual signal often indicates specific conditions that need to be addressed. Why it happens? Hook and bait stuck. The float may lie flat if the bait is stuck in aquatic plants or debris, or if the bait is mid-water and fish are nibbling. Surface fish. Sometimes, surface fish like whitebait can intercept the bait, causing the float to lie flat. How to react? Rebait and recast if the float is lying flat due to entanglement with debris. Strike immediately if you suspect surface fish have taken the bait. Mastering float signals for greater success. The key to becoming a fishing master lies in understanding these float signals and responding at the right time. Whether you're eagerly awaiting the black float or analyzing the subtle tapping signal, every float movement tells you something crucial about the fish's behavior. The black float is an exciting yet deceptive signal. Stay calm and be sure the fish is truly biting before you strike. Sudden drops and rising floats are usually more reliable signals that it's time to act. Tapping floats require patience. Wait for the right moment. Moving floats can mean big fish, but be sure to distinguish between small fish and the big ones. Lying floats require attention to detail and quick action. By learning to interpret these 6 signals, you can maximize your chances of a successful catch. Stay observant, react appropriately, and soon you'll be on your way to fishing mastery. About the author. I'm a passionate fishing enthusiast and blogger dedicated to helping others improve their skills. Follow me for more tips, tricks, and insights into the world of fishing. Give a like, save, and follow so you never miss future updates.